710 ESPN Seattle presents Bob and Groz's One More Thing.
Powered by the law offices of Heidi Hunt.
Are the Seahawks getting screwed again? All right, so Bob, let's take advantage of your, as everyone knows, Rockstar Bob is born and raised in Seattle, so Seahawks fan as a kid growing up. So you bleed Seahawks blue, like every true Seahawks. You're almost always wearing that hat.
Yeah.
Like every true Seahawks fan, of course, the Super Bowl is a scar that will never heal.
Still waiting for Ben Roethlisberger to score.
Yeah.
Still hasn't entered the end zone.
I mean, this is exactly it. So I'm curious as to what you made of, and we talked about it briefly on the show yesterday, the fact that the Super Bowl referee for that game, Bill Leavy, who ironically enough, was here last year, I think because they wanted to have officials in for training camp for certain drills and stuff.
He was going over new rules, explaining new rules.
Was doing all that, and kind of, he did this pretty much on his own. No one was, obviously people would have asked him about it, but
totally unsolicited.
He sort of went over to a group of reporters and kind of mea culpa, said, I've done this and done that. And
said, I kicked a couple of calls.
In the fourth quarter, and I feel really bad about it.
And he felt like he impacted the game, that he had an impact on the outcome of the game, which is exactly right.
Of course he did. An extremely negative impact on the game from a Seahawks perspective.
Yeah, well, the game was officiated like crap from the first quarter on, if you want to go through the whole thing.
But, I mean, are you surprised at all? I'll tell you why I'm surprised about the reaction, which there's actually been quite a big one, it seems.
Yeah, I think it's much ado about nothing, to be honest. Yes, he's got a place in all of our hearts. He'll live in infamy, but he is a guy who kind of mea culpa, unsolicited.
Right.
Unsolicited, so it tells you that I thought he was genuine in his response and his remarks and how sorry and how he's said he's lost a lot of nights of sleep over this whole thing. Now there's this whole paranoia that since he's going to be part of the proceedings with the Seahawks and the Steelers this coming weekend, that he's going to do the same thing, which is asinine. It's ridiculous. It's absurd.
Well,
If anything, a guy who feels as sorry as he does, if there's a call that's, it's hedging that one way or the other, could go one way, would he not be more likely, having been as sorry as he's already said he is and feeling like, I really screwed this team out of a Super Bowl, this is game number 2 in the regular season, if it's leaning one way or the other, I think he actually might lean toward the Seahawks. In fact, I think he'll be impartial, but if he's on the fence about a call, I think it probably works in the Seahawks. There's no way it tilts towards the Steelers.
See, in my opinion, this might be a story worth puffing up about or anything like that. If this was the first time he had refereed a Seahawks game since then, but that's not the case.
Second time.
He refereed the second game, I believe, of Jim Mora Jr.'s one season here as head coach. I think it was the 49ers they were playing. It doesn't matter who they were playing. Point being, he's already come back and refereed a game with him. Look, I definitely understand feeling those feelings after 5 or 6 years and not wanting to give them up.
Well, yeah, but I did get screwed.
Well, entirely, completely. And in fact, I think it probably would have been, and as we found out, or maybe all of you did if you were listening to the Brock and Salk show before we're on, that the NFL this year, I think it's this year, does everything by computer when it comes to assigning officials.
Yeah, it's not somebody sitting there going, all right, he goes here.
This might be fun. Let's have Bill Leavy go to Pittsburgh and referee a Seahawks game.
It's not.
So, I mean, it's
random.
And God love him, and Mike Holmgren wouldn't comment for it, but that's a big part of everyone is remembering Holmgren coming back, and that I didn't realize we were going to have to play against another team on the field and ripping the officials. I mean, it's come, it's gone, I think. Although I will say this, especially considering the Seahawks are, about a 13.5-point underdog?
Which they should be.
God forbid it comes down to you know what I mean, man? If it comes down to especially now, because all the talk about hitting and calling penalties for hitting, and it seems very controversial, what's a penalty, what isn't? Could you imagine? If he's put on the spot to make, like Cam Chancellor takes off Hines Ward's head, let's say the end of the game, Roethlisberger leading him down, it's a big hit. It could be close to helmet.
It's make good time. It's coming in our favor. I'm telling you.
See him? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I'm telling you, it's going to work in our favor.
All right.
It's make good time.
I hope you're right.